Retail Stores, presented by Tiffany Cartwright.
Wonderful. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for coming out and for taking a journey with me. And that journey is the journey into Big Box Retail Stores. My name is Tiffany Cartwright. I am the founder and CEO of Amara Products. We are a certified woman-owned, certified Black-owned company specializing in natural and organic skincare products. By way of background, I am born and raised in the city of Detroit, and I am so super excited to be here to announce that my product, Glam Body Scrubs, are now in Target stores nationwide. We're in Walmart nationwide. And most recently have been featured in this month's Essence magazine as well. And it's okay to shout and celebrate. And the even better part is that I am here today to share that information with all of you. Listen, anyone who knows me knows I'm a firm believer that when God opens a door for you, He opens that door not for you to walk through and let it close behind you, but we have an obligation to do what? You put your foot in that door and you hold it open for those who are going to come behind you. And so that's why it's an honor and a privilege to be able to share all of this wonderful information with all of you vendors who are there. Now, I have encouraged everybody who's here. I am not here to entertain at all. I'm here to share information and knowledge. And so to that end, I want to encourage you to pull out your pencil, your pen, and your paper, because you are going to want to take copious notes. Again, this is not about entertainment. This is about the impartation of information. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, I have had the opportunity to talk to many of you about your wonderful, awesome, amazing products. And the first thing that I want to share with you is that I am a firm believer God is no respecter of persons. It's not about the twos and fews. It's not about me, my four, no more. But if I can do it, guess what? Each and every one of you can do it as well. There are certain things, though, that must be set up. There are certain elements that have to be in place in order for you to take that brand, take that business to the next level. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Now, some of you I know have a service business that you're doing right now and you're thinking, well, I don't really have anything for Target, I don't really have anything for Walmart because I'm in the service business. Let me encourage you, even if it's a service that you offer, you can find a product that goes with that service so that you can pitch that as well. Case in point, there was a young lady who had a business, a hairstylist. She'd been a hairstylist for, I don't know, 20, 30 years, licensed hairstylist. Well, guess what? When COVID hit, everything shut down. That salon had to close. Thankfully, she was able to have a product that went with her being a hairstylist. She came up with a line of conditioners, shampoos, the whole nine, and now she is in Walmart's nationwide and even has her hair products inside Walmart stores throughout the entire country. That was a blessing that came in spite of COVID, right? So that's why I want to encourage you, even if you have a service, don't be second. Get a product that you can pair with your service so that you can talk to stores. Now, for those of you who are here, if you've not already done so, I want to encourage you to go ahead. You start with your LLC. You have to have a business entity. I know everybody's grinding with selling products out of the trunk, out of the garage, but in order to do business with retailers, you do have to have that LLC in place. I know in the state of Michigan it's only $50. I'm not sure what it is in Texas, but you have to have that legal entity because they're not doing business with you as an individual. They're doing business with your business. This is all about B2B, right? Secondly, your tax ID number, irs.gov. You want to have that tax ID number, and if this is repetition for some of you, sit through for those of you that it's new to, because everybody's at a different level. So I just want to make sure we cover all the basics. Your tax ID number, I call that the social security number for your business. When you're applying for all of these grants that have been available during COVID, you cannot do it based on your personal social security number. There has to be a tax ID number that goes with that actual business. And I want to make sure you all know, do not pay for it, it's free. There's lots of hacking going on. There's lots of sites that will try to sell you an EIN number. Do not pay for it. It is free on the IRS website, irs.gov, and you can get it the same day. When they give it to you on the screen, make sure you write it down because otherwise you have to wait until you get the letter in the mail. Again, your LLC. Also, your Dun & Bradstreet, if you've got your DMV number. If you don't, you go right to the site. You can get that for free as well. Again, do not pay for it. There's a lot of spam, a lot of hacks. Do not pay for it. That is absolutely free. Go ahead, get that DMV number. Also, your business bank account. Once you get your tax ID number, the other reason why that's necessary is because That's what you're going to present to the financial institution so that you can have your business bank account. As we scale our businesses, we don't want to merge the two. So your personal account is for your personal information, but you have to have a designated business account that's going to be attached to that designated tax ID number in order to take that business and pitch it to the retailers. Also, I want to talk to you guys about certification. Now, some of you may know about it, but there are billions of dollars that are set aside for business entities to do business, woman-owned businesses, black-owned businesses. There's designated money that's set aside. But in order to tap into that money and get those contracts or those deals, you must be certified. And when I talk about certification, I'm talking about being certified as a woman-owned business, certified as a minority-owned business, certified if you're a veteran. You can go to vetbiz.org, get your business set up for free as a veteran and tap into those monies that are available. That certification process is typically about $350 per year, and they do ask for a wealth of information, but when I tell you, it is so worth it. If you are a woman-owned business, you want to reach out to the WBENC. That's the Women's Business Enterprise National Council. WBENC is the largest certification organization in the country for woman-owned businesses. Some of you may have walked through a Target store and seen a little logo that says woman-owned, or seen it on the website. That's what they're talking about. Those are organizations that are certified as being woman-owned. You have to be 51% owned to partake of that. If you are a minority-owned business, you want to reach out to the NMSDC, National Minority Supplier Development Council. You want to go ahead and get your business certified. Every state has their own individual chapter, and then there's the national chapter. So, for example, I am certified with the NMSDC, which is the Michigan Minority Supplier Development Council. Again, this is what retailers are looking for, to know that you are, in fact, a legitimately woman-owned, vet-owned, minority-owned business. Now, some people balk because they're like, well, I don't want people in my business like that. Why do I have to share this information with them? The reason that businesses have to be certified is because they're designating all of this money that they're trying to provide to underrepresented communities. However, what has happened, unfortunately, is that you have had companies who have sent representatives in as if they own the company. They're getting awarded these contracts, and then once the investigation is done, they find out that it wasn't minority-owned or it was not woman-owned. So when we talk about why it's so crucial and why it's important to go through the process, that's the reason why. Is because you want to make sure that you are able to tap into, again, the monies that have been set aside. Many of you noticed that behind the George Floyd incident, you have so many retailers that are like, we're setting aside $250 million. We're setting $1 million aside. We're going to dedicate X amount of shelf space to minorities in an effort to right the wrong. Again, to be able to take advantage of that, if you're not certified, you won't see a dime of it. So certification is absolutely crucial. Additionally, another great certification is going through the government, through SAM, Systems for Award Management. You go on the website, sam.gov, and that is a free certification that you can get, and that allows you to talk to government to get government contracts, and that's a whole nother huge pot of money. Government contracts. During COVID, everybody had to pivot. People who were in cosmetics, we saw contract manufacturers totally commit lives to what? Hand sanitizer. So if you had nitro gloves, hand sanitizers, the whole nine, you were able to do business directly with the federal government, but you had to have that SAM registration taken care of. So again, it's sam.gov. You want to go ahead and get registered, and that one is absolutely free. The VetBiz also, if I'm not mistaken, is free. The NMSDC and the WBNC charge about $350 a year, but best believe when I tell you it is absolutely, completely worth it, okay? Also, if you haven't already done so, I know many of you probably haven't, but you want to make sure that you have your e-commerce website in place where anybody that looks at it can see it, as well as your social media handles, your Instagram, your Facebook business account. I know a lot of people are like, well, I want to be a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not into all that social media. If you are trying to be an entrepreneur in this day and age, you are into social media. It is a crucial, vital part, and I can honestly tell you that the decision makers, these buyers, they are on your social media. They're going to look and see what you're doing. So not only do you want social media, but you got to take all, if you got drama or nonsense on your social media, you need to scrub your page. A lot of people don't understand that once you hold yourself out and you start reaching out and contacting retailers and people that you want to do business with, they're on your page and they may not say a word to you. But if it looks crazy, guess what? They're going to keep swiping. Case in point, a young lady, a dear friend who's at home, she has cheesecakes, right? And she was demoing her cheesecakes that are already in one big box retail store. A person from the news station came up to the table, dressed in sweats, got a sample, didn't say a word, didn't introduce herself, didn't do any of that. She simply picked up a sample, took it back home, loved the cheesecake, and then later on reached out and said, hey, by the way, I'm a producer for NBC. I want to have you on and bring you on TV to talk about your brand, okay? And because she didn't get a business card, because again, she's demo and she didn't know who the woman was, the lady had to find her on her social media, okay? So just imagine if she was on her social media talking about how she hates her baby daddy and how her boyfriend stepped down on her and how she can't stand her in-laws, how she can't stand Trump, she can't stand Biden, all that, gotta go, okay, gotta go. Because money is green, okay? So regardless of what your political affiliations are, regardless of how you feel about this issue, that issue, your social media as a business owner is no longer the place for you to get on the soapbox or talk about your views. That's no longer what it's there for, because again, decision makers will get on there and they will not even tell you, don't even know it, but they are reading. Now, I can honestly tell you guys, for me, my buyers chime in. Like when I'm here and I go live on Instagram, they'll chime right in and say, go ahead, we see you, things like that, just to encourage you, because they want to know that you're out there doing your part. My motto, and if you're interested in retail store sales, you can write it down, is that when it sits on the shelf, it does not sell itself. I'll say it again for those in the back. When it gets on the shelf, it does not sell itself. I have people that say to me, they're like, oh, you don't do vending events anymore because I know you're in Target, you're in Walmart. Oh, yes, you do. People tell you, they say, when you get a yes from a big box retailer, they told us, they say, now the real work begins. Nobody believes that because you work so hard to get there, but that is actually a true statement. The real work is not getting it on the shelf, the real work is staying there. And so that's what I'm here. Not just talk about how to get there, but how to stay on the shelf once they do accept your product. Now, here's another one too. Retail, nobody wants to feel like they're your first rodeo. So this is wonderful. You're out here, you're grinding, you're working your booth. But I want to encourage everybody, don't sleep on the mom and pop businesses. Don't sleep on the local stores that carry your product. Don't sleep on the salons, the beauty shops that have similar products. I have people right now that take my foot scrub, my peppermint eucalyptus foot scrub, they take it to their salons when they go get their pedicures, and they tell their people, hey, you want to use this product on me. That's exposure, okay? That is exposure. Before getting Target and Walmart, I was in every little local organic store that had products. I was in those stores, knocking on those doors, getting the products in, okay? Before I had Glam Body Scrubs, the product was wireless Bluetooth headsets. I was up in every gas station, every liquor store, everywhere where they sold electronics and gadgets. I was there knocking on those doors. That's the experience that they want you to have. When you come, they don't want to feel like, they say, well, what stores are you in? Where are you currently doing business? They don't want to hear just out of your trunk. They want to know that you've gotten up, that you're talking to other business owners, that you are pushing that product, and that you're going to grind. I'm in Target, but where am I right now? I'm from Detroit here to Houston. Why? So I can get, everybody in Houston to know, hey, listen, I need Houston to show the brand some love. Next time you're in Target, please grab your Glam Body Scrubs. That process never ends. Don't get it twisted. It's just the beginning, and it never ends. Also, I'm going to show you guys, this is a pitch deck. I only have one, and I'll pass it on at the end. But oftentimes when you talk to them, if you're at a conference, things like that, all they're going to tell you is, send me your deck, send me your deck, send me your deck. And I'm going to keep it real. The first time I was asked for a pitch deck, I didn't know what it was, okay? So it took me a minute to find out what it was, how to put it together, because I didn't know. And when I finally got it together, I came back to that retailer, and I tried to sneak it in via email and act like it was my first time getting to know them, right? And the retailer was like, Tiffany, so glad to see you. We're glad to hear from you again, okay? So you all are not going to make that mistake. You're going to have your pitch deck already ready. And when you think about it, think about an elevator pitch. It's basically a manual. You're going to have all of your website, all of your information there. Mine has differentiators. Who else is in the market doing what you do? How does your product compare with theirs? What differentiates you from people who are doing the same thing that you're doing in the same way, the same locations that you're doing it? What have you done to publicize it? I pitched my product to Shark Tank in Detroit, and I got a yes. Woo! Haven't gone to LA yet, but I did get a yes in Detroit because I pitched it there. That's in my pitch deck. People that I've met in different cities, that's in the pitch deck. You all heard me say Essence Magazine this month came out. Woo! Essence Magazine, guys. That goes in your pitch deck. Let them know, listen, I'm out here grinding, doing everything that I can. It's been featured in Black Enterprise. It's been featured in Sheen Magazine. It's been in Rolling Out Magazine. All that is what you want to put in your pitch deck so they know that you're working, right? The other thing you want to have in your pitch deck is your why. I thank God everything I learned about being in retail stores, I learned from my brother Arcari. He's my mentor, the founder of Global Empowerment Ministry. We learn about business and how to do business. And one of the reasons why we're talking about growing businesses is so that we can bring change in the community. And so as you guys continue on with your journey, think about your business, not just in terms of the houses and the cars that you can buy as you accumulate wealth from being a big box retail supplier. Make sure that you have something that shows what is your commitment to the community. And when I talk about that, I'm saying, what change will you bring? Who are you going to help? Who are you going to bless? How are you going to pay it forward? I'm a firm believer, and that's why I'm standing here right now, that we are blessed to be a blessing. So make sure that you're thinking in terms of what tiers will you stop with the money that you make from your business? What organizations are you going to support? What are you going to do for the least of these? That is so, so important, and to be able to share that why. Because everybody has a product nowadays, but nobody else has your story. That is unique to you. And that's what the purpose of your pitch deck is to show your story, who you are, and why you feel that you will be a good fit for that big box retail shelf. Another thing that I always encourage people to do on the brand, make sure you have, on your page, have your brand, but also partner with whoever that retailer is. So for example, if you are talking to Target, you don't want Walmart stuff on your pitch deck, okay? You want to make sure all that's gone, and if you're really smart, you want to put a nice little Target logo to show your brand and Target brand. It's a partnership, right? If you're talking to Walmart, swap out that blue and yellow, and take out the red and white and swap it out with the Walmart label. Meijer, Kroger, whomever you're talking to, that should be on the pitch deck, because it shows you at least taking the time to make it personal to them. The content is going to be the same, but it's the little things that matter, right? Also, GS1 barcodes. Oh, I forgot a jar of scrub. Anyway, you all know barcodes. That's what's going to swipe it. You want to go to gs1.org. GS1 barcodes. The products have to have barcodes on them in order for the big box retailer to accept it, because think about it, if it doesn't have a barcode, people can't pay for it when they get to the register. And it's important to do it with gs1.org. There's a lot of other companies that are out there. I know people sell bootleg barcodes. Do not do it. The reason you can't do it is because if you buy the barcode from another business, your sales are going to go under that particular business, and that's not what they want. Oh, here's one. I bought a thing. So this barcode, this is what's called your each. You want that on every label that you have. This each is part of a family of barcodes that you get when you reach out to GS1. So for example, when I ship my products to Target, Target has me send 4 cases that have 3 jars in each one. They go straight from my factory to Target's distribution center. If those initial barcodes are not right, then when it gets to the distribution center, or the DC as it's called, they can't scan the product. So that's why it's so important as you're going to GS1, those initial families have to be set up right, because you're going to be sending not individual jars, you're going to send them in what's called an inner pack, and then it's going to be actually the vendor pack. So for example, mine are 4 cases of 3 and a pack of 12. That goes directly to Target, directly to Walmart, directly to Stop and Shop. So again, GS1, make sure that's where you're getting your barcodes from. Don't get them anywhere else. Don't buy from other people, because they will not register right and they're not going to scan right. Save yourself that drama. Liability insurance. Most of the big box retailers want you to have at least $1 million of liability insurance. However, don't balk at $1 million. It may cost you $30, $40 a month. But you have to have liability insurance. Why? Because God forbid if something goes on with your product, Walmart does not want litigation, Target does not want litigation. So liability insurance is commercial insurance that protects your product. Make sure if anything happens, they can tag you and say, okay, we had an issue, you take care of it. Liability insurance. Your capability statement. Your capability statement is a statement that tells that person who's reading it how many units can you produce per month, per week, per quarter. They want to know, because again, they don't want to write you a PO for 50, a purchase order, excuse me, there's a lot of jargon. A purchase order, that's your PO. That's what they issue. They don't want to give you one for $50,000 if you're still in your garage and you can only get 5 a week. So that's why you want to make sure that you have that capability statement in place. Your contract manufacturer. Now, many of us, like myself, this started in my kitchen. My daughter was doing eczema. I started mixing concoctions in the kitchen, and here we are, okay? When you get to the point, though, where you're dealing with big box retailers, you have to do what's called a contract manufacturer. You're going to reach out to them. You can Google contract manufacturer for your particular product category. And when you do that, what you want to make sure that you do is have them sign an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, meaning that they're not going to copy your formulations and sell your formulations to somebody else. There should be a mutual NDA between yourself and that contract manufacturer that says, I'm not going to put your business in the street, you're not going to put my business in the street. If you do, I'm going to sue you, right? So that's the protection that you want. EDI, electronic data interchange. Retailers do not deal with you as an individual. They go through what's called EDI. When your purchase orders come through, Walmart doesn't call you and say, hey, Tiffany, we want 1,000 units. No. Your electronic data interchange is the system that's used, and that's how you communicate with the retailer. So when Target wants to order, when Walmart wants to order, you get a "you got mail" in your inbox. That tells you how many units to produce, it tells you where you want to send them to, and it tells you how soon they need to be there. And the company I use is called DataTrans, DataTrans. DataTrans, I believe they're out of Texas actually. That's who handles my EDI for me. They're going to ask you, are you EDI compliant? People have lost deals when they're talking to big box retailers because when they ask you, are you EDI compliant? If you say no, that's a signal to them. That's their way of knowing. They're like, okay, you're not shelf ready. So that's not going to happen to you all because you're getting the information right now, EDI. And you can reach out to them even beforehand and let them know, I'm taking my product to the next level. I'm going to be pitching to retailers. I want to get everything set up right now. That way, when you do get the deal, you're not scrambling to do it. But it must be in place. Also, open call. Here's some programs. Walmart every year has what's called open call. It's in Bentonville, Arkansas. When they have open call, you apply for it. They'll tell you yes that if they want to have a product. You travel to Bentonville, Arkansas. You meet directly with the buyers, and that's how I got my products accepted into Walmart. It's called Walmart Open Call, and you guys can YouTube it or Google it, and you can even look at some of the ones because they do it every year. They do it at the same time every year, but the problem is that nobody knows about it. So if you have a product that you feel be a good fit from Walmart, go to Walmart Open Call. Target has their Target Takeoff program. They have a Target Accelerator program. And this is specifically designed to help you with the information that you need to get your product into Target stores, to meet with the buyer, to learn their processes. Target Takeoff and the Target Accelerator program. Macy's has what's called their workshop. They also, so if you guys have a clothing line and you're on here, you want to go there because Macy's does that same program for Macy's stores every year. So jewelry, handbags, whatever it is that you have that you want to pitch to Macy's, that's a way that you can get in there. Also, vendor representatives. Now there's what's called vendor reps. And let me caution you because a lot of people come to you and charge you a whole lot of money. They say, well, I'm going to get you in Target, I'm going to get you in Ulta, I'm going to get you into Sephora. I would highly recommend that you talk with a retailer first and find out what companies they deal with. Because everybody can tell you, oh, I can get you in the Target, I can get you in the Walmart. In my case, what I look at is if you are a Walmart vendor rep and they typically take a commission, you don't want to pay them anything until you get a deal. If they tell you we want money up front, again, most of the time, if they stand behind it and they have those relationships, then they will charge anywhere from 3 to 5% as a commission, and that will be their reimbursement, if you will, for helping you get into the stores. If they're in Target, working with Target, you want to look for them to be in Minneapolis area, somewhere where Target's headquarters is. Typically, they have a retailer that they deal primarily with. And they say they deal with all of them, but a lot of them, they deal with 1 or 2 particular retailers. That's who you want to go with. And again, it's not something that you need until you decide that your business has gotten to the point where it's worth it. You do pay a commission, but I always say 5% of nothing is nothing, right? 3% of nothing is nothing. So you personally have to make that decision in terms of when you feel it would be best appropriate for you to take that on as the next step. Now, I am down to 2 minutes. I just want to give you guys some real quick questions that buyers are going to ask. Talk about yourself, talk about your business, know your story. Talk about your differentiators, what makes your product different. Talk about your pricing, understand your margins, okay? When you're selling big box retailers, you're not selling them at the retail price, you're selling them at a wholesale price. You need to make sure that your wholesale price allows you to still make money. Don't underbid yourself because once you commit to that, that price is what you're bound to. Now here's the other thing, your MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price. It's a suggestion and it's what you're gonna use. If you don't know how to set your pricing, go into a store, find a product that looks like yours, and then you wanna make sure yours is a little bit lower because you're not, in other words, I'm not a Mielle yet, I'm not the Lip Bar yet, okay? So when I go looking for what a good MSRP or manufacturer suggested retail price is, I'm still gonna look at that product category. Make sure your conditioners, your shampoos are on par. Now if everything else on that shelf is $14.99, don't go to the bar talking about $30. Because you're not going to get it, okay? Because they know what they're paying. They know what the market is looking like, okay? So make sure you have a realistic one, but also make sure that when you give them that price, you're looking at your shipping, you're looking at your marketing, you're looking at your tags, your labels, all the things that it's going to take for you to produce that finished product so that you don't underbid yourself. Understand this. Once you commit to a price with them, you may say, well, my MSRP is $15, and then you go ahead and you sell it to them for $7.50. You may say $15, they may decide to sell it for 20, but guess what? That's their money, not yours. So you count your money, don't count theirs. Because you cannot go back and try to renegotiate about, well, I didn't know y'all gonna sell it for $20 because y'all making more money than I am. No, it does not work that way. So make sure whatever you commit to, that price that you give them, understand that you will be bound by that. And whatever they decide to retail it for, that's their money. Let them count their money, you count your money, right? All right. Also, what is your lead time? If you're getting your products from overseas, you got a contract manufacturer, you got to be able to tell them, okay, so if you're ordering 100,000 units, I need 6 weeks lead time. If you're ordering, 2 million units, whatever, then I need at least 8 weeks. Make sure you know what your lead times are because they have what's called OTIF, on time in full. When they give you their purchase order, your merchandise has to ship by that due date. So don't tell them, oh, I can have it to you in 2 weeks. Don't get excited, get happy. Oh, I just need 2 weeks. I need 2 weeks. No. Have that time because whatever you commit to, your product has to be in their DC on that date or you can charge back. And Lord knows you don't want that because then you're paying to be on the shelf, right? So make sure you know what those lead times are. How do you plan to drive sales? That's a really big one. When they say, how do you plan to drive sales? You know, they say, well, I thought that's what you do. No. They're talking about you. What are you going to do? Hey, I travel to expos all over the country. I'm doing this. Join the social media groups. I'm in Detroit, but I promise you I'm in at least 5 Houston entrepreneur groups on social media. Why? Because these are other entrepreneurs that you can network and communicate with, even from whatever state you're in. So make sure you're using social media. Make sure you're partnering. Okay, I know she's like, you gotta sit down. Make sure you're partnering with those organizations. Listen, I gotta get off the stage. I know it's a lot of information. Thank you all so much. I'll be over it. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. There's a lot to talk fast, but 248-291-4876, come.
Yeah. Woo!